Let's go over how to add color to our Jen Stark drip designs. Before you begin painting, write your name on the front of your design somewhere near the bottom edge. You can write your choice of your first and last name or your initials like some artists do. You should also double check that your name and class code are on the back of your design as well. You do not need to write your class code on the front of your design. It's a good idea to write your name in pencil first and then outline it with Sharpie so you can make sure you like how it looks and where it is placed. Next, let's go over how to paint our drip designs. First, we are going to review how to mix colors. We will be using watercolors to paint our projects. If you would like to use intermediate colors, which are colors that have two names like yellow-green, you can use one of these mixing trays to mix your paint color first. For this design, the first color in my pattern is yellow-green. So to mix a yellow-green, I'm going to take the lightest color of the two first, which is yellow. When you're mixing a new color, you should swirl your brush around in the color to get a lot of paint on your brush. Then put the color into the mixing palette and rinse your brush off. Since green is a much darker color than yellow, I'm only going to add a little bit of green at first. If I need more, I can always add it later. Once you mix a color, you can test it on your messy mat or on a piece of scrap paper to see if you like it. Be careful when you're mixing colors not to mix on the paints. Like here, I got green on the yellow paint. If this happens, you need to rinse your brush off with water and clean off the paint with your brush. You can also use a paper towel to blot the color off. Before you begin painting, make sure you have cut out your drip shape around the bottom edge. Make sure to cut next to the Sharpie outline and not through it so that it stays on the edge of your design. When you're ready to paint, you will need a messy mat, water cup, flat edge paintbrush, and watercolors. You may also want a mixing tray to mix colors. We are going to start painting our designs on the outer edge first. For this design, my first color is pink. Be sure to erase the color you're going to work on before you paint that section. Do not erase all of your color plan at once, or it could be hard to remember what your color scheme idea was. When you're painting, you will want to get a lot of the color on your brush to have a bright, vibrant color scheme like the artist Jen Stark is known for. To do that, make sure to swirl your brush around in the paint you are using for a little while. Remember, with watercolors, the more water you add will make the color lighter and more transparent. The less water you add will make the color darker and more opaque. When you're painting your drip design, be sure to use a flat edge brush like the one I'm using here. The rectangular shape of this brush will help you paint your lines and edges more neatly than a round brush would. When I'm painting my sections, I like to paint along the edge of the Sharpie outline first. Make sure to paint slowly and fill in all of the space with color. If you feel like a color looks too light in a certain area, let it dry for a few minutes and you can add more paint on top. When you're painting, it may be helpful to turn your paper as you paint so you do not smear the paint. When you finish painting a color, skip the color next to it so that the color you painted has time to dry. Here, I'm going to skip my next color, which will be red, and move on to the one after that, which is orange. So we are going to first paint every other color and then go back and paint the remaining colors. This will help your colors stay separate and not blend together. Remember to carefully erase your writing in pencil before you begin painting a section. Now that I've finished painting with orange, I'm going to skip the next color, which is yellow, and move on to the one after that, which is green. Remember to paint slowly and carefully, and that the more water you add, the lighter your color will be. If you want the color to be darker and more vibrant, adding less water will make your paint less transparent. Now that I've painted every other color and my painting has had time to dry, I can paint the remaining colors. I'm going to start by painting red, which is next to pink, and then work on the rest. Okay, so it looks like I am finished painting my Jen Stark drip design. Make sure that you have painted all of your sections completely and that your color is consistent in each section. If you notice an area is too light, you can always paint another layer of paint on top. I hope you had fun creating art inspired by the artist Jen Stark.